All right, and thank you for joining another Daily Drinkers podcast of broadcast, and the broadcast of podcast. My name is Rocky. Tonight I am drinking Backyard Bee Revolver Brewing. It's a unique honey style ale. It's like a blonde with little notes of sweetness.
Not bad. I am Marbles, as always, and today I'm drinking the Guinness Nitro Cold Brew Coffee. It's delicious.
Who doesn't enjoy a sweet blonde?
All right.
So you might be noticing a few things that are off, mainly our co-host Mick Dink, who is distracted at the moment, and Britt, who is going to become a semi-regular on the show, off and on. We had a great podcast last night. Unfortunately, due to technical difficulties, we lost the entire podcast. So now you're stuck with me and Marbles talking nonsense like usual. So maybe we'll just have fun tonight, do a mini broadcast, talk about bloopers, and have a grand old time.
That sounds good to me. Um, what kind of bloopers did you want to talk about?
Just rehashing. So last night we were talking about alcohol, what we drink, what we don't, where it's from, and then one of us chimed in, "Oh my God, who drinks this alcohol?" After we just did all the announcements. So we had
Yeah,
a grand old time with that, and then we started talking about E3,
that's right.
E3, and then we gave some input. Got mad for not having input. Got yelled at for having input. It was just a grand old time. Maybe one day we'll release the footage from the vault. You just see Britt yelling, but you can't hear her voice.
She's yelling
Mm-hmm.
into the void. No, last night's episode would have been pretty funny. Um, Apparently, Brit and others are glad that it's not seeing the light of day. So I guess they got that going for them. But trying out a different recording method today, trying to see if I get some better results.
Post some comments about our feedback and see what you guys think. Because if it doesn't really matter, then we're not going to go through all this big old headache of going into super high definition.
I mean, I might just because I have to look at it more than you do.
So he will still be doing it regardless of what
So
you're
I'll be
doing.
doing it regardless of what the comments are. But yeah, no, we were talking about how we're going to play some Halo 5 Brit. I downloaded it. I don't know if you downloaded it or not.
Yeah, I got Halo 5 in Monopoly Deal and Monopoly Plus.
I apparently had owned those already. I don't know when
How, when?
I got those because I don't remember ever playing them. But apparently they both said owned, so I re-downloaded those. Those were tiny. Um,
I'm still trying to get
see, I
used
don't
to
know.
Texas time, bro. I'm still on California time. It's ruining my schedule.
How did you change time that fast? You were only here for 4 days or something.
Xanax.
Mm.
So force myself to stay up and then pop a Xanax to go to sleep.
Ah, that's how you're doing it.
But waking up was still in the same time frame. So waking up is fine. It's just the bedtime routine is off. So I'm going to bed like at 12, 1 o'clock. I'm waking up at 5,
Okay.
sometimes 6. And it's like, why? Why would you do that?
I can see how that sucks.
So it'll probably take me a week just to get readjusted. Plus, coming back to work, I was like, yeah, I don't really want to.
Is it still raining out there?
No, yesterday it kind of lightened up, but it's been 95-ish in rain, 88 in rain. My grass looks amazing.
Well, that's good.
I reseeded it, and then I put some like super food with it, and then I had my sprinklers on every day, and then it rained on top of that, So it just looks like a miniature forest.
Rainwater tends to do a pretty good job for uh, for grass, for whatever reason. Why is this
Nobody prepares you
loud?
for grass as an adult. You just grow up thinking, this is a chore. I got to cut the grass. I got to do this. Then you're an adult and you're like, okay, what do I do now? Is this ryegrass? Is this Bermuda? Is this Kentucky bluegrass? Who knows?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know how grass is out in California. It's if you have nice grass, it's expensive and it's not natural. If you have whatever grass came with your house, it's most likely just weeds. Because grass doesn't like to grow out here. So growing up and doing the yard, like yeah, I would cut it, but it was mostly you're just cutting weeds. Like I'm not cutting actual like named nice grass. It's just this miscellaneous patches of like some type of crabgrass and whatever else grows out there that doesn't immediately die.
Whatever the dandelions decide to grow in.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, even when out near my mom's house, I guess a lot of California, the soil is really clay-like. It's really
Yep.
hard and really compact. It doesn't have a lot of nutrients in it, and it dries up a lot. And it's hard to keep. It's hard to keep wet. It soaks up water and then just immediately dries and turns into like a brick after. So even watering the yard regularly, the grass wouldn't really turn green. And then it rains like one day, and all of a sudden you have all this green grass.
Yeah.
But then it doesn't rain anymore, so it immediately dies.
Like when I came back, the grass looked like blue green color. That's how like super healthy it was. It was just dark
That's good.
and rich and bountiful. I'm like, I gotta do yard work this week. Since I work this weekend, I gotta do yard work on my only day off. Yay!
Yeah, it's a great way to spend your day off.
So I'm
Um,
so looking forward to it. On the plus side, I have been looking at my new car this week
oh yeah, did
until
you?
Ford dropped the Maverick note.
I
Now I want a truck again.
don't know. I mean, you're out in Texas. It rains a lot. Certain areas will flood, so maybe getting a truck for you makes more sense.
But the truck would be front wheel drive. My
Uh,
SUV would be all wheel drive. So I'm at a crossroads.
mm, yeah, I don't know how to help you with that.
I don't either, but I just look at prices and I can get either one roughly the same price. I'm like, do I hold out like 6 months or what do I want to do? So now I'm just kind of in that phase. Like, I know what I want out of one, but I can't get that for another few months. Or do I want to hold out and see what the next one has? Too many decisions to make.
Yeah, no, you're right. There's, it's not great. Um, it's not great when you can see almost the equal like pros and cons of each, and it's not like there isn't a clear winner. When you have a decision to make and you got two things and you weigh them out and you're like, oh, this one's just a clear. She's like, the other one's a nice to have. It'd be cool, but this one's a clear winner. But when you have something that's like, oh no, they're basically neck and neck. Like there's just a trade off no matter which way you're going. So it's like, what trade off do you want to live without? Those suck. Man, today has been a long day. I was in a 2 hour meeting. Not to mention the like hour and a half meeting in the morning I have every day.
So you were in meetings for almost 4 hours today, and you said, "Hey, we should do a podcast when I get out
Yeah,
of meetings."
yeah.
I
When I'm
have
done,
another meeting.
when I'm done with all my meetings, I'm gonna have a podcast after. Um, yeah. No, there's a bunch of changes they want to do to the website that I work on, and there's a lot of just discussions on, what exactly are those do those changes entail? Like, how complicated is it? How long is it going to take? What questions do we need to ask about things that aren't clear? And there's just a lot. Some of the projects they have lined up are really big and are going to take a while.
Yay!
So,
That means it makes you important for a while.
yeah, which means I'm going to be in more meetings. That's all that
Yay!
means. I don't like to be important at work because that just means I'm in more meetings.
Shenanigans.
But they're not meetings like I have control or I could do anything in. It's
It's
just,
just, hey, we're gonna tell you what you
hey,
need to do.
I have to sit here and listen to other people talk and maybe ask a question if I have one. But otherwise, I'm just sitting here listening to other people make decisions. um, so yeah, hopefully, this episode should come out tomorrow. So hopefully tomorrow I'm not in meetings and I can actually get more work done. That would be nice.
Shenanigans. You need to be in more meetings. All the
If I
meetings.
didn't have work to do, I wouldn't mind being in meetings because again, I just sit there and listen, and I do it from home. So I'm in my pajamas eating Cheez-Its with my mic on mute, listening to other people
Yep.
talk.
Sounds right.
That's not that hard. It's when it's like, oh, cool, I have stuff I have to do, and I need to like pay attention to this. That's when I don't like sitting in meetings. That's the exhausting part.
Luckily, I don't get called into meetings. My boss does, and then I get to run the shop. And then if he can't do it, then I can answer the questions. But I'm not important enough to be in the meeting, but I'm too important to go to the meeting. So I get like that little umbrella. So if anything big comes up, I'll go do the training, come back and train everyone else. But if it's an actual like important meeting, they just give me the rundown because I have to be there to run the shop.
Uh,
So I lucked out on that aspect.
yeah, that's pretty good. I'm technically a kind of a senior person, so me and one of the other guys get stuck in meetings more often than some of the other people do.
Yay, Mr. Importante.
Yeah, that's what happens when you've been around for a while and you're, I guess, good at your job.
That's why you make the big bucks, and I'm still making the penny.
I guess that's what happens. Yeah, but as you know, I was making a terrible pay because it was reliant on the employer that I had that wasn't very good and kept most of my money.
Yay!
Yay! So,
Yay for capitalism! Woohoo!
oh, that reminds me. There's a that remind me of a game that now I want to try. I guess it's on Xbox also and PlayStation and Steam, but it's called Hard Space Shipbreaker, and it's basically uh, like a capitalism debt game, but wrapped in a like a space salvager. So I guess your character is like in this insane amount of debt, like over $1 billion in debt, and you have to salvage spaceships to pay off your debt. But everything you do costs you money at the same time. So like refilling your air tank costs you money. After every shift, like there's a countdown for how long you can work for a shift before like the day ends, and then you're forced to like start over the next day. And at the end of every shift, I was watching somebody play it, and they had salvaged like 60 something $1,000 worth of salvage just in that shift, and their fees for the day was over 500,000. So like the game charges you for everything, like your suit rental fee and like your tool rental fee, and like if you buy oxygen they charge you, and it's just like this weird Like, how far can we take capitalism? So basically, you're just a slave, but you have this like weak goal of, hey, I can work my way out of this eventually.
That sounds like one of your dreams turned into a video game right there.
It does, doesn't it? Those are the types of dreams I have. Except they're not as cool as they're in space. It's more just like regular life. I never have
More like,
superpowers in my dreams. I can't fly. Nothing interesting really happens. It's usually things like go to work and pay the bills, or get chased by someone who's trying to kill you.
sounds believable.
I just quantify all my dreams as nightmares. I don't have dreams. I just have nightmares.
You have the American dream,
It's
sir.
the American dream. It's a living nightmare. But I was watching someone play it. I'm like, wow. But it kind of did look satisfying to like use like a cutting tool and like a gravity like grapple gun to like cut pieces up and move them to like the processing plant or like to the furnace and in like 0 G, so you can spin in, you know, every direction. It was kind of interesting. So I don't know. I might get it. Maybe if it's on sale or something. I don't remember how much it was, but
$200. Play a game as a slave.
to play a game as an
Would be a
indentured servant.
brilliant idea. Look how stupid this game is. Let me spend all the money on it.
But I'm like, man, that would be fun with more people. All of you guys. All of you guys. I mean, it's single player only, unfortunately, but it'd be cool if it was multiplayer and you can have, you know, friends that cost you money.
That friendship fee of $6,000.
Um,
Hired help.
but you can like level up to like unlock new equipment that you can buy with like, I guess in the game. I mean, I don't think there's any what do they call it? Like microtransactions or anything. But in the game, like they'll convert some of your like cash that you make from tearing apart the ships to like these company tokens that you can use to buy stuff from like the company store. So it's just like a weird satire of like almost
Life.
Love life, but it kind of reminds me of those old railroad towns where the railroad built this town for all the workers, but everything in the town is owned by the railroad. So the railroad pays you your, you know, your work salary, but then you go around and pay them back for rent and pay them for food and pay them for like
Brilliant.
clothes and pay them for like sewing services and you pay them for, and you just pay them back basically all your money to live in this town to work for them. I'm like, it's kind of just like a weird throwback science version of like sci-fi version of that. Like, oh, we just own everything and we'll pay you for the work you do, but you also owe us a bunch for everything else.
You want access to this? Yeah, that's a fee.
But it just came out last year, so I'm like, that's looks kind of interesting. I like those solo playing games where you don't have to do a whole lot of it's not like competitive. You don't have to do a whole lot of like thinking. You kind of just sit back and like do some kind of mindless stuff. Feels like you're making some progress, you know, but it's a good time waster for a day spent trying to solve complex problems.
Something you can just do autopilot.
Yeah. So I don't know. I might play that. Maybe I'll get it and stream it on Twitch or something.
Yay!
I think I might actually get it on PC, so that way I can play in 0 G with a mouse and keyboard, because that's not hard.
Whee! And I got motion sickness.
See,
Whee! And no.
See, I'm fortunate that I don't get motion sickness from that stuff. I'm glad I don't.
The other day,
Because I really
don't know
like
when I
games
was
in 0
playing,
G.
my aim sensitivity was way too high, and I was like, "Whoa."
Does anyone else get motion sick that we play
Around it.
with?
Oh, I don't know. Half my family does.
Yeah, my sister does. I don't know if anyone else does. But I'm lucky enough that I don't get motion sick. I mean, when I was a kid and you sit like in an office chair and you spin yourself as fast as you can in a circle, like, yeah, that would make me nauseous. But seeing as I don't do that anymore, I almost never get nauseous, which is good.
You're lucky, sir. You are lucky.
I think I am lucky. Um, so now I gotta find that beer that Britt was drinking yesterday.
Raging itch. Raging itch is what we will call it.
Mm-hmm.
We're still gonna abide by the YouTube rules.
We're gonna
And like
try.
somebody,
We're gonna try to. I have to get my button working.
do you have Taboo the game? We can just get the buzzer out and just go, eh.
No, I do not have that game. Actually, I
Or
don't.
get it on a soundboard.
Yeah, I do have a soundboard. I just don't know if the feed will. Let me see something. Hold on. I'm just not sure if the feed will. Can I turn this on? No. Did the thing crash?
So I can just keep this handy.
Oh, it's because my audio configuration changed. There we go. Okay, I don't know what that did. Let's see. Can you hear that? Probably not.
Not at all.
Yep. It doesn't. It's not going through that.
So we're
Well,
gonna have to download an app on the phone and then
I think I have to change the Zoom settings to run through the voice changer app that I have running. But it does show up because it's going through my speakers. It shows up in the recording. So technically I can't just do it for myself. I can't do voice changers too. But I won't mess with that right now.
I'm pissing my cat off over here. My cat's looking at me like, hey, I'm trying to sleep, bro. I'm over here like, Go to sleep, little kitty. Yeah, somebody was a very foul mouth last night.
Really? How much caffeine is in this coffee beer? It doesn't say. It's just 4% alcohol, so it's not much.
A cashier today had an extra large coffee with a double shot. It was iced coffee.
Oh, those
Dunkin' with a double shot espresso in it. She chugged it in maybe 10 minutes and then chugged 2 Cokes right after. And then maybe an hour later, she's like, oh my God, I'm having an anxiety attack right now. I don't know why. And I'm like,
It's probably
bruh,
the amount of caffeine you consumed in the last hour.
I don't think you're having an anxiety attack. I think your heart's just saying, hey, no.
It's a caffeine high. Like a serious one.
Well, the other day she made the comment of she likes to drink Sprite because it helps her wake up because of the caffeine. I was like, excuse me?
Did you ruin that? Did you shatter that glass for her?
She legit. She's 32 years old and thought that Sprite had caffeine.
Yeah, no, there's no caffeine in that. There's caffeine in Coke. Maybe she got them backwards. Yeah. I'm like, why would you chug 2 of those after coffee? It's just caffeine and sugar.
Not just any coffee, any large iced coffee. I think iced coffee is way more caffeinated than regular coffee. or just the fact that you drink it faster feels like it is.
I mean, I think the fact that it's cold means you can drink it faster than when it's real hot. I don't know if it's more concentrated or not.
Science side of podcasts.
It's
Does cold coffee
the science
have more
segment.
caffeine?
Yeah, I don't know if. I mean, I guess you would have to. You'd also have to look at like each brand. Like, does Starbucks, iced coffee have more caffeine, or does Dunkin' Donuts put more in theirs, or how do they make it? Because I'm sure some of them probably just shortcut and just make just regular coffee and just put ice in it.
Oh, I'm convinced McDonald's has the highest caffeine content. Either that or it's just the straight sugar and the caffeine mixed together. It goes, ah! It's like a wannabe Four Loco without the alcohol.
Probably. I don't get. I'm not that affected by caffeine. And I don't.
You're not affected by anything.
True.
It's
Uh,
all that Neanderthal DNA you have going for
yeah,
you.
I know. The fact that I have more DNA than 99% of 23andMe people. Yeah.
Me and Marvel's.
No, I
It's like,
laughed.
wow.
I laughed yesterday because Britt, while drinking her beers, was saying, I could outdrink all of you guys. I could drink all of you guys under the table.
This will be my fifth beer and you're completely wasted, but you're going to outdrink all of us.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you remember when we went to Worst Fest, how many of those like 64-ounce beers we all drank? Just those. We got
I
picture
know what
after
I've put
picture.
you through over the years. And
Yeah.
if I had to say straight drinking competition, depending on how it goes, my money's on you, then Dink. Then it's going to be toss up between me, Ryan, and Method, depending on
Yeah.
who has the tolerance built up.
It's good. Who has a tolerance and what you're drinking, I think, during like at that time.
If it's beer, Method's going to be last on the list. That's
Yeah.
fine. I would probably give the edge to Ryan on beer. If it's hard alcohol, depending on the hard alcohol, I might take the edge. I don't know. It's just going to be a weird
That's
toss.
more of a toss up, yeah. What gets me usually is volume first. Like I'll get full before I've hit my limit on how much I can drink. If I drink, that's if I'm drinking beer, especially. I'll get full faster. Versus if I drank like mixed drinks or just hard alcohol, I could drink a lot more of that before getting full.
And then you're in the bathroom all night peeing.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, that sucks when that hits you. You're like, oh no, I've broken the seal. I'm screwed. I am now going to pee every 10 minutes for the next 4 hours.
Looks like I'm done for the night.
It's going to be like, I can't drink anymore because I just keep peeing.
You can tell the murder mystery that I'm watching when it changes because you just see the light on my background go from blue to darkness to brightness
to strobe lights. To
yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully this looks better on YouTube.
At this point, I don't have a lot of faith, but
I don't know.
Better than nothing. It's better than just watching us all go.
I mean, I could have voiced over everybody. I could have done it like, old Japanese movie style where I'm just saying dialogue to what I think you guys are saying, and just the words won't match your mouth movements. And I could have played the part of all four of us yesterday. But
I got it.
What
we need to do for one of our podcasts is stream the video and we each take a part. I do Dink's voice, Britt does my voice, you do Britt's voice. Or however we work it out. Or Dink does Britt's voice. Because you're still going to be only one audible. and then we just have a for giggles, and then you can fill in on certain parts. Like I'll trade off,
Yeah.
and then me and you could be Brit. Brit could be me,
We
or no? How would that work?
I mean,
No,
I could do something like that.
we could do Dink. Dink does Brit, and Brit does me,
Okay.
or vice versa. I'll do Brit. Dink does me, and Brit does Dink.
Yeah, it'd be good to experiment. Yeah, man, it's gonna be hard though. Um, hold on. Did I gotta I gotta check to make sure that I still have that video.
Or I mean, we could always just set up a podcast one night, do it, and then when we see each other talking, we just rotate through voices. Like we all take a set rotation. That way, all four of us are there. We could
Uh,
essentially turn one podcast into two.
yeah, we could do something like that. It might have to take some movie magic behind the scenes, seeing as I got
Shenanigans.
so many programs running already.
Shenanigans. You are a producer, up for hire.
Up for
Are
hire.
you an upcoming TikTok artist? Do you have a SoundCloud record that needs dropping? Marbles will help you produce it.
I'll produce it during my lunch breaks from work. Luckily, TikToks are only like, what, a minute long? Something like
I don't
that.
even know.
A
I'm too old
max.
for TikTok, bro. I'm barely understanding Zoom right now.
Yeah. I wish Zoom just recorded in high def, but apparently you need like a business or enterprise account to do that. Oh, I finished my Guinness. That means I have to move on to truly strawberry lemonade. Something sweet after my coffee beer.
Coffee beer. I'm gonna disappear into the shadow. Oh, never mind. They're interviewing somebody, so it got bright.
I gotta finish that Donut King documentary that I was telling you guys about last night. I didn't know that's why like pink boxes are just the standard for donuts. Apparently, it used to be back in like the 70s and prior. It used to be white boxes, but
I hear it's all white.
yeah, out there it's all white, but in California they're always pink. Occasionally you'll get like a white box, but usually they're pink. And the reason was because he wanted cheaper boxes, and I guess pink ones were cheaper to make or something.
Because
So
nobody wanted to
because
use
nobody
pink.
wanted to use pink, so he was able to get pink boxes. And I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Here, I'll just do this.
That works. You just need one on the other side now.
I'm just too lazy to turn on my big light, so I turn on the flashlight of my phone.
Well, good thing you don't need to use it for that long before the battery dies.
Wait, wrong one. Oh, what the? I'm underwater. There we go.
That's pretty good.
So, cheap fix for you guys. It's a water bottle with a flashlight from my phone
On top, and there's a desk lamp.
gives me a brilliant little lamp.
A desk lamp. That's pretty good. Yeah, because you don't have an actual desk you work off of.
No. Pretty brilliant, though. If I do say so myself. Can I do it this way?
How are the laptops? Or how's the laptop working?
Laptop's brilliant, sir.
You get so much work done.
Yeah. And then I think I can multitask, and then I get distracted because I have ADHD. And then I'm like, ooh, cool, let me start this. And I'm on Amazon shopping. What? Okay. Oh, so that's what happened in World War II when the Finnish. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I do the same thing. I actually just bought a UPS, an uninterruptible power supply, for my computer. It's
I wanted to
basically
get one of those.
it's basically a big battery. For those that don't know, it's
The
a
$200
big.
battery that
It's pretty much a $200 battery that you leave plugged into your wall, and it's got what you could call a power strip on the back, and you plug things in that you don't want to lose power, like your. For me, it'd be my desktop computer, the router, and the modem, and the monitor to my computer.
Here's a little word for the wise, though. If you lose power, you probably don't have internet either.
Yeah, possible, but I don't know. I mean, it's coming through coax, right?
Yeah, but usually if one utility goes down, they tend to all go down at the same time.
I guess it could. So that could happen. Although in California, who knows? Especially when they're doing like them on purpose. Who knows what they turn on and what they turn off? So maybe if I'm lucky, the internet will stay on. But I also didn't want my computer just blinking out. So because it's not good for it when that happens, when there's just like cut to power and I'm in the middle of something. So the purpose of these is to mostly keep things running so you can turn it off, just so it doesn't turn off automatically. So I think if I had the power cut out right now, this stuff would stay on battery for probably like half an hour. But I figure if I turn
That's
off my
it.
computer, um, that's what it estimates. It estimates like a half hour based off the current load. Um, but I figure if it does that, then I can actually turn my computer off and stuff, and hopefully maybe the internet will stay on. I don't know. If
One less
not,
call for help.
then oh well. Then I guess I'll have to deal with that. But I'm trying to think of. I bought some extra like USB battery packs. So if the power or something else goes out, we can like charge our phones or
So you have a car for, bro.
whatever. Well, it's
Go for a road trip.
I don't know. Like I don't always want to just leave, especially if it's late at night. Like we had one last year. The power went out like at 6 or 7 or something, and it's like we're not gonna go anywhere. It's already late. It was already kind of
Seven
dark out.
o'clock is late. Oh
Well,
my
it was in
god.
it was still like winter time,
You're
so
such an old couple.
the sun was already down. So it's like, okay, where are we gonna go? It's quarantine, the sun's down, and the power just went out. Like, there's nothing to do. So we just waited out. It was only out for a little while. I don't. It wasn't even out for like an hour. It was probably like 20, 30 minutes. But I figure if something happens like late at night and the power goes out, we could charge our phones and go to bed. Hopefully the power's on by the time we wake up. Then I don't care. Um, if it's in the middle of the day and it's like stupid hot, then I'll probably go somewhere else. But if it's already evening and we've already eaten and stuff, then what's the point of leaving? So I bought some flashlights.
I'll drink to that one.
Mm-hmm. I bought some flashlights. I have a couple like battery powered like LED lanterns. Um, what else? I need to get.
You need to get some pocket knives to keep.
I do have some knives. um, I have some knives, some small pocket ones. The only thing I probably should get is, I mean, they say it's always good to have like jugs of water, like gallons of water, bottled, so in an emergency you have water. If the water for some reason gets shut off or something happens.
You know what works out good are those like thermos cups that have pre-filtered straws in them.
See, I
That way you
think,
have something on the go.
yeah, I actually have a couple of those like emergency straws. just the straws by themselves to where
I
you.
mean, like the actual like thermos cup. You get
Yeah,
one of the ones that have the straws, and then Brita makes one, and the straw is a whole Brita filter.
yeah, I've seen those too, but they also make these just like standalone straws. They're like thick,
Mhm.
and you can literally go to like a puddle outside and just drink it,
Yeah. Oh,
and
no, thank you.
and it's just a giant like filter, and
Yeah. No.
it's like a survival straw. Like if you're camping or something, you have no clean water, or if there's a disaster, you can just drink dirty water. Um, so I have some of those, and then I think my mom got. Um, I think it is like a type of like thermos, mug thing, but it might. I think it had like UVC lights in it or something to like kill all the bacteria in your
Jesus.
water. Kill everything in your water. I think it was either that or it also had like a filter or something. So I have to go. I have to go by her house this weekend and pick it up. Um, but yeah, like having dried food or like bottled water stored away, I should probably have. But I just find the idea of just storing that in my limited storage to be kind of a lot to ask.
I have each
Ah,
car has a to-go bag with clothes, knife, a fire making kit, and a thermos that's never been used. In the event, gotta book it, and then hand sanitizer and like wipes, band-aids.
yeah, I need to make an actual like kit with first aid stuff and whatever spare emergency stuff. I should make like an actual like to go bag. Um, but I don't know. I don't know what other stuff I should be trying to gather because it's getting to fire season now, and we were kind of under threat last year for like an evacuation, but luckily the fire stayed on the other side of the freeway and moved away from us. Um, but it was close enough to where the complex I'm at sent out an email to everybody like, hey, if it jumps to this side of the freeway, you guys may have to evacuate. Um,
Yeah, no, thank you.
so that's kind of the downside about living where I live is the hills out here are just kindling for fire. Luckily, they've been
That's
doing a
true.
pretty good job of keeping the hills trimmed back here. There's some houses up above, and in between the complex's property and the housing property, they go up there multiple times a year and just cut everything down. There's guys. It sucks because it'll be like 90 degrees out, and there'll be guys up there on the hill just chainsawing and cutting
Man,
everything down. Whatever weeds, plants, brush, everything. They're just cutting it down to the dirt. So there isn't really much fuel up there to burn, but I mean, there's still
it's
some
gonna
stuff.
burn. It's gonna burn.
Um, yeah.
All
So.
right. I'm looking at the clock. I think this is probably a good wrap tonight.
Mhm.
Talking a little nonsense with your truly.
Yep.
We'll run by some ideas with the gang and hopefully have a more eventful chit chat next week.
Yeah. Hopefully we get everybody on next week.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight.
Thank you. We'll see you guys next week.
Let's
Bye.
go. Bye bye.